All right, so on deck is going to be myself because I have to go in between two people.
Okay.
But the first person coming up tonight, please put your hands together for Brian Snyder.
Isn't it funny watching me fumble around? All right. Or no, I don't. So this is a microphone?
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody, give it up for Tina. What's going on here? All right, I want to give it up for my beautiful wife who brought me up on stage. Isn't she a doll? I mean, she has to put up with so much shit. Now, oh, they're this way. Thank you. See what I mean? This is the kind of shit she's got to put up with. So, I mean, you see the visible disabilities, right? This stuff, the blindness, and I'm also deaf, so I can't even hear you fucking laughing. But there's a whole myriad of invisible disabilities that she has to deal with. OCD, hence the Dexter gloves, like moral thought action fusion, if you want some rabbit hole to go down, just Google that. Paranoia. And I mean, she just has so much love and empathy. And I'm like this cargo ship. You know those cargo ships, those giant, container ships that bring all our shit in from other countries? Well, I'm like one of those with just disabilities, emotional baggage, deranged, and just piled up with like shit, and the containers of disabilities are just pouring off the sides of it. And my life should have capsized so many fucking years ago. But my wife just opened up her port and just let me slide right in. So thank you, honey. I appreciate you bringing me up here. So, you don't know this about me. Well, none of you know me at all, really. But you're nobody till somebody loves you. Come on. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world, and it's gold. Speaking of gold, my grandfather used to work in the Empire Mine. No shit. And a few years ago, ironically, I had the opportunity to meet one of the direct descendants of the owners of the Empire Mine. And so when I was introduced to her, I said, hey, my grandfather worked in the mine that your family owned. Now, her question was of somebody that had immense guilt from like historical exploitation. And she said, is your grandfather okay? And I said, no, he's dead. And his DNA was so toxic and fucking polluted that my dad has mental health disabilities, my uncle killed himself, and my brother and I are both blind and deaf. She went, "Urgh!" And I said, no. My grandfather died a horrible death, falling off an oil rig. And but the reason my brother and I are blind because of your mind. So you'll be hearing from my attorney. And pack up your gold bricks because now I own the Empire Mine. It's mine. Gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. So I don't have transitions. So my son is obsessed with this fucking horrific web series. Have you guys ever heard of this Siren Head thing? Yeah. Oh, some of you heard it. Yeah. It's this. The Siren Head is this like surreal, 100-foot tall, grotesque, lightning fast creature from another planet that happens to have a siren for a head. And it terrorizes human beings like myself that are vulnerable and kills them. And my 6-year-old son adores it. I mean, he even has the little plushie stuffed toy. Right? But it's funny because whenever my son gets like anxious or worried, or if I just ask him to do something that he doesn't want to do, which is pretty much fucking everything, he whips out the siren. He goes, awkward, right? Yeah, that's the exact same feeling I feel, right? So when my wife and I get into an argument or something, and I'm not talking like flipping tables and punching shit and stuff like that. What I mean is just an argument like she doesn't like my holes. I have socks that have holes in them, and she calls me a hobo below the ankles, right? And so we're arguing, and if he gets uncomfortable and gets heated, what he does is he'll go, and we just look at each other. What, did I blow out the mic?
No, you're good.
Now, we look at each other. I mean, well, she looks at me, and I just look into my own misery. But I thought it stops the argument, right? And so I thought, that's fucking brilliant. I mean, so what I decided is I'm going to use that when I'm anxious and feeling frustrated. That's pretty much all the time. So if you're ever at an ATM, you got to try this shit out. If you're at an ATM and there's some schmuck doing his taxes at the ATM, just whip out that clears it right out. I'm telling you. And if you want to get that booster shot, go down to Docomo's in the morning. You want to clear out those older adults that are scared to death. Just whip that out. In fact, I used it on my work the other day. My boss, she said to me, "I'm going to need that active PSVS report by the end of the day." So I'm unemployed, and so that's how that went. But if anybody has a job opening for a blind man that's pretty much psychotic, then so there's a Japanese maple tree in front of our house. It is absolutely gorgeous, or at least I'm told it is. And it is as large as a Japanese maple could ever get, and everybody loves it, except guess who? This guy right here, this blind guy. My wife loves this fucking thing. And so the reason I don't like it is because normally the branches are up here, right? Most of the year. But when it rains, they're right here. So every time, if I don't remember, I'll just fucking smack right into the fucking thing. And it hurts. I mean, it can poke my eyes out. Not that it would matter. But it's painful, right? And so I'm just saying, please, honey, can we... the thing is, sometimes I do remember they're there, and I do. And then I have to do that. You ever watch the old show MASH? You have to do the suicide is painless, go into the helicopter run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I have to do that shit. And I ask my wife, and I say, hey, listen, can we please cut just in the path where I walk? That's all I ask. She goes, nope. And I'm like, come on, please. It hurts when I run into them. It hurts. And she goes, nope. All right, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna fucking cut the branches. She said, if you fucking cut those branches, I'm gonna murder you.
It's a really
right?
nice tree.
Yeah, so I'm like, fucking A, this is our love. She opened her giant port to me.
This is why I'm not cutting the tree.
And that's how deep her love is. It's as tall as a maple, and She just does not give a shit about, this is what it is. The bottom line is the universe does not want what I want. It doesn't. But, I'm glad I'm here, and thank you for your being here with me. And thank you, Tina, Cosmo, Beth. You're making my dreams come true, and I appreciate it. This is shaking off 17 years of rust. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Keep it going, keep going, everyone. Yeah, I too have also been called a hobo below the waist. Money for my socks.